Whoa! Copyright! Way too hyper because it's a very, very sad day today, obviously. The day that we all do not look forward to every year. And yeah, it's a long close season. We're going to be closed until the 18th of March, which is nearly 4 months. I know, I miss these February openings, these white knuckle weekends. But like, yeah, I know they weren't a success this year. And we'll be talking a bit more about a summary of the season here later on. But, you know, if they had it half price like they used to rather than full price, I think they'd still go down really well. But yeah, it's a shame that they've obviously decided to cut that from the season. But yeah, we're going to obviously show you around today, you know, get on some last rides. I'm going to talk a bit as well about something that came to light yesterday later on as well. So yeah, there's a lot to talk about. We're not going to be able to have this amazing view across the park from the top of Revolution for 4 months, and I'm of course going to miss Icon, and I just missed the train. So yeah, we've done Revolution and Big One now, both of which were brilliant as always. Someone's doing a sound check over there. Yeah, I tell you what, Big One, back row, it's not rough. Anyone who says that ride's rough, and there's a few out there, you're absolute wimps. But yeah, this ride is absolutely dead. She was running fast and she was also being very squeaky. We obviously went on Icon since we last spoke to you. But yeah, it was running well, not gonna lie. You know, I still love Icon, still my favourite coaster in the country for now. But yeah, if you're wondering why we're filming here, it's because we just missed the Pleasure Beach Express. It left as we were coming up the ramp from Nickelodeon Land to it, and apparently it's my fault. But like, honestly, he's saying that we took forever in Burger King. No, we didn't. That's the fastest we've ever been. You know, we were in there 35 minutes, and that includes ordering the food on the screens and then eating it. That's a record. No, we don't rush. You know, no, we don't. Like, that's my chicken impression because he was just going on about chicken. But yeah, we have had lunch, so it's time for FastFoodNet. Hello and welcome back to FastFoodNet. We do everything fast food related in the UK and by the internet. As said, today we ate at Burger King, and I had the usual, but I am doing this because, you know, it's closing day and we won't be doing it for a few months. I had a nice plain Whopper meal with some nice juicy fries. Fancy drink, and I give it a 9 out of 10. Next we're on to Danielle. What did you have for your lunch?
I had a 6-piece chicken nuggets meal with large fries and a lovely Sprite to drink. I give it a 9 out of 10.
Hooray! What did you have, Joshua?
Nice plain Whopper meal. 10 out of 10.
Hooray! Oh no!
Oh no!
Muppet! That's the third time that's happened. We obviously had our ride on Pleasure Beach Express, which was brilliant as always. And we've now just been on Ice Blast. We weren't on the Valhalla side, unfortunately. But as you can see, right now, I am stood next to Valhalla. And I think this would now be a good time to have a bit of a conversation about the state of Valhalla. It's obviously not opening this year now, last day of the season, even though the park has said all along that it would be on the website and stuff, and they've not updated it when things have clearly been delayed. But yesterday, the managing director, owner Amanda Thompson, posted some quite interesting tweets, sort of towards the end of yesterday, so pretty much almost 24 hours ago as I'm recording this, essentially saying, well, she was quote tweeting somebody who mentioned Valhalla, and she was saying that essentially she has no idea where the state of this project is, and that stuff's been hidden away from her, which is obviously very strange when you think about her position. yeah, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And then straight after that, she starts tweeting about the pantomime and the blooming grosso, saying, oh yeah, by the way, those things are opening on time. And then she goes back to quote tweeting a load of tweets going on about how, you know, the only thing she's aware of is that everything inside Valhalla is apparently done, and that they're having loads of problems with the ride system. It's taken forever to get ride parts to fix the problems that they've had, and just all sorts of stuff like that. So allegedly everything in this building behind me is finished, and the exterior of it now looks pretty much done. Theme park Mars, Josh did a Valhalla update yesterday. I'm not going to be doing that, I'm just doing this segment now because it needs to be said, so go and check out that and he'll share his opinions on this as well. But it's just very strange, and the whole management of this project makes absolutely no sense. Yeah, so I assume that Amanda's obviously trusted certain people to just go away and do this, and has somehow kind of got shut off from it all, and it doesn't make a whole lot of sense because it just doesn't sound like she's managing it really. And I mean, the whole she pointed out as well how the social media team allegedly don't know what's going on either, so there's obviously been radio silence from her, well, not her but them and her up until now. And obviously I do respect that something's finally been said about it and that she's been the one to do that. So in a way I think it's the right thing to do. I mean, it doesn't exactly give a good look for the park in the way that she said it and the way things are going, when she is obviously the owner of this as well. But yeah, it just goes to show that management here, there's serious issues, and it's gone to show this year with various ways. You know, communication obviously about Valhalla all along. There's been people coming expecting it to be open this summer, and it hasn't opened, and there's been radio silence from the park as to why. And you know, even the park's social media accounts not said anything about it. Amanda's the only one who said anything about it. And you know, some of the tweets and posts that have been put on over the year just haven't been relevant to the target audience at all. It just feels like the whole management and certain teams within the park have just lost their footing with stuff, and something needs to change because it hasn't felt like Pleasure Beach this year. And Valhalla's obviously the main example, but just in general it hasn't been great at all. So yeah, I mean, Amanda, if you are watching, which you're probably not, then I just want to say that I respect that you've said something about this. Something needs to be done, and I'm not saying that Amanda's out of this in terms of all the problems. Like, I feel like she just needs to do something about the management of just this entire place. But obviously, like, I don't know, stuff's being hidden from her or whatever she said. There's obviously a lot of things going on, and I think it's multiple different. I don't think there's one person to blame for this entire Valhalla project being as much of a shambles as it is. It's several people or several departments, and it's just all kind of fallen to pieces. And I think they need to look at this and what's happened and how much of a disaster it's been. I know obviously COVID and stuff has had an impact, but it's not hard to communicate and update people with what's going on. In my opinion, they should have just, you know, June or whatever time it was this year, just put up a post to confirm that Valhalla's not going to be opening, rather than just doing nothing. Amanda or Pleasure Beach or whoever's watching, please take on board what I've said. Like, I know you're getting a lot of stick, but there's a reason for it. Some of it goes a bit too far. Pleasure Beach isn't the only park that's had problems this year, should point out. Towers ride availability and whatnot's been awful, but I'm just saying how it is for Pleasure Beach. Yeah, things need to change. Welcome! Oh my god! Time for our possible last run through of Impossible Ever. As you can tell, Josh is a very hyper boy because he's got his hands on some wood. And I don't mean any wood, I mean Grand National wood. He's very happy over this wood. Shout out to Tom on doing the deed of getting some Grand National wood sorted. They've changed the layout in here, jeez. Just had a ride on Grand National as well, which wasn't quite as positive because it was running a little slow, I thought. But yeah, this could be our last run through ever if Impossible, let alone this year, because We were speculating last week actually. If you've seen my Instagram, you'll know. They're just removing it bit by bit.
Thing that they removed. There's no impossible gate anymore.
No, there's no gate. There's no.
Not that this will be any use.
It's just
anymore,
like
because it's got
loads of
much.
bits
Like my
missing.
tutorial of how to open
Yeah.
the impossible gate.
It was obviously used as a scare maze during Journey to Hell, and there's just been loads of stuff removed from it. So yeah, R.I.P. Impossible. If this is our last ever run through, as in ever, and yeah, thanks for many happy run throughs during those rainy days here at Blackpool Pleasure Beach. We are now going on Infusion because it's the last day of the season, and this is my first time on this ride since that awful ride I had on Colossus at Fort Park back in October. So we're going to see now whether this is actually smoother and better than Colossus. Yeah, that whole area around Impossible, it's a bit dead where the fountains are now. You know what I think is going to replace it? I think we're getting a new coaster. Obviously I designed the layout on Planet Coaster for what could go there, so yeah, I put some footage on screen now. But yeah, it would be great to see a Mac Big Dipper or similar ride around there. Add some much needed inversions to the park, which we only really have a lot of on this ride. There's only actually this Rev and Icon that actually inverts, and Rev and Icon's only got one inversion. This has got 5, but yeah, we need more inverting rides at Pleasure Beach. That was not that rough. Infusion, one of the smoothest rides I've ever had on it, to be honest. Tell you what, Colossus is 10 times rougher than that. Honestly, Colossus is so much worse. Yeah, not that bad that. Still, the train was still shaking throughout the ride towards the end of it and stuff, but even the last 2 inversions, which are normally awful, they weren't that bad, the inline twists. So yeah, I quite enjoyed that, to be honest. Gotta say, nearly as good as Nemesis. Only joking. Yeah, Nemesis is overrated, all that stuff. You know my opinions if you watch the channel regularly. Oh my words, that is the best mid-train ride I've ever had on Icon. 5 seasons that ride has been operating, and yeah, that was riding like a front row, which is my favourite place to ride it, so God knows where I would have felt like in the front row. I need a front row on that later, but I'm not happy for 2 reasons. On Infusion, that train was sat there for 3 minutes. Forgot to mention this because we're collecting like some lost property. Like, save it to the end of the day, stop delaying operations. Like, I know it's dead, but still, I don't know, I got blooming stapled, so God knows how I had such a good ride. I mean, the lap bars can adjust themselves automatically, but there's no need, mate, for stapling, like pushing it as far down as it'll go. Like, if it's past the centre and the light's green or whatever, it's fine. Like, just no. Done. A few rides since the last spoke to you: Blue Flyer, Ice Blast, Alice in Wonderland and Ghost Train, just all which were very good. And Josh had, like, big up to the staff, probably the world's fastest dispatch ever on Ghost Train. Literally, he came out that building about 10 seconds after we did. Like, props to the staff on there, absolutely brilliant. I mean, ride operations at Pleasure Beach in general are very good, but that was next level. We are now entering the final hour
That looks good
of
as well.
Oh, Josh, hi. He's doing his thumbnail, guys, of the Pleasure Beach season 2022, and
well.
that has closed early. Pleasure Beach, we've only been on it once today as well. Criminal behaviour, Pleasure Beach.
What's criminal behaviour from us?
Well, yeah, but no excuses at all. Ridiculous. As you can see, it's now very dark, and Josh has bought a hoodie as well. Which
A hoodie and a bag for whenever this one breaks.
You
I've
can't-
had this bag a while.
you can't see him because I've turned
Oh,
the
yeah.
exposure down for darkness.
Exposure.
But yeah, we're going on Icon now.
This is not going to be used for a long time.
Hopefully we can get on Big One afterwards if we have time, because we spent a while in the icon shop sorting stuff out. But yeah, the last 40 minutes or so of the day now. And yeah, obviously we'll sum up the season at the end of it, but yeah, I think it's going to be icon and Big One now. And then we need to go and retrieve his wood from the shop.
I've got me one.
And then
certificate to say that I've got wood.
Talk a little bit about this year, because it's been an interesting one. Well, that was eventful, guys. Josh wanted to do a front row Big One, and it was getting very close to park close. Me and Danielle did mid-train, and we've just run to the Kiss Me Quick shop to get Josh's certificate, which he needed to collect. It's about 5:05 now, and that means it's the end of the season at Pleasure Beach. And I mean, you know, you can probably all guess what I'm going to say. It's somewhat a season to forget. I mean, communication problems all year, problems with social media, cutting late night riding times till 9 PM, Valhalla not opening, and the park not saying anything about it. I understand there's been legitimate delays and whatnot, but they could have at least, you know, posted something on the website or social media. Oh, is Josh here now? Yeah, so it's not been great this year. I've heard some people say it's been the worst season at this park for many, many years, if not ever. I just hope this isn't a repeat of the dark ages of Pleasure Beach, as in 2005 till about 2014, when this park was really struggling. And props to Amanda Thompson for pretty much saving this park during that time, but clearly times are tough for the park at the moment. I mean, it's been tough for all the UK parks. Visitor numbers have been down everywhere. But yeah, we've still had plenty of enjoyable visits to Pleasure Beach this year. In fact, I'd go as far as to say is that I've visited more than any other year. What do you think of this season, Danielle?
It's been alright. Like, there has been a few disappointing moments, like throughout the theme park, throughout all the theme parks in the UK altogether. But yeah, like it is better when like they are busy, but it's life.
Yeah. Okay, Josh. So you've managed to get back from your ride on the Big One, and you've got your certificate.
You were going to join me.
No, but we wanted to make sure you got your certificate. But
I appreciate
yeah,
that.
big up for keeping the shop open. But yeah, what do you have to say about this season? Yeah, Tom was in there.
Thank you, Tom.
Yeah.
This season, I've enjoyed it a lot. I've not kind of felt the negative stuff as much as other people, especially the person running the channel I'm on right now.
Shut up.
But no, it's not been perfect, but I stay positive, and there's been a lot of, like this weekend in particular, it's been good.
Yeah.
And yeah, like personally, there's been a lot of good moments, and visited a few new parks for the first time. Took Ben to Fort Park for his first time and second time, so that's made the season a lot better. And just there we have it. It's been good. It's not been as bad as some people might make out, but it's not been perfect. But I've had a great time, and it's a shame closed season is a lot longer than usual this season. Like, not looking forward to that at all, but it begins now.
So yeah, there will be a highlights video at the end of the year in which I'll talk about kind of the other parts, because this has obviously been very Pleasure Beach focused, this outro, and obviously this vlog because it's where we are, my home park. But yeah, you know, there have been some good bits to this season. It started off well with Enzo, which was obviously too expensive. Obviously the white knuckle weekends were too expensive as well, but with Big One and Grand National waiting for them to open was exciting. But it's sort of May onwards things went downhill communication wise. But yeah, that's all for now. Stay tuned for possible, you know, bits and bobs over the closed season, but obviously we'll be back here on the 18th of March. Click the video on the right side of your screen to watch the first ever visit to Fort Park, because that was one of the biggest highlights of this year. Click the icon in the center of your screen, subscribe. I'm Ben, you've been watching FastFoodNet, and goodbye.